So hi guys, welcome back. And in this video of our weapon system series, I'm going to show you how to make multiple weapon system or how to change between different weapons that we have. So if you have been following along, I have been working with a single weapon system. So by the end of this video, this is what it's going to look like. So this is our rifle. I can change it to pistol and you can see the ammo UI is being displayed correctly. I can change it to sniper. And again, I can change it to rifle like this. And I can shoot as well. I can reload. Same with the sniper. I can shoot. I can reload. Okay, so without wasting any time, let's dive straight into the video. All right, the first thing that we want to do is we want to make a input action. So come to the input folder and I'm going to make a input action called IA scroll weapon. And open this one, change it to axis 1D. Now come to the IMC and add it. So I'm going to add it over here and I'm going to use mouse wheel up. I'm just going to use wheel up because I don't want to use the wheel down to change back to previous weapon. I'm not going to do that in this video. You can do that. You can figure that out yourself. And now let's add this into our player character. So over here, I'm going to add IA scroll weapon. And I'm going to add a compare float. And I'm going to print the string for now because I want to see if this is working actually. Weapon has changed. Let's try it. So I'm going to play the game. If I do mouse axis wheel up, it's going to work. It's going to print weapon has changed. That means this is working properly. So now, before doing anything, since we are going to have multiple weapon, open the master blueprint. Okay, I have too many things going on over here. I will close everything. So if you come to the function that we have, play effects, onto the sounds, since we are going to have different weapon, we need different fire sound. So I'm going to change it to variable and I'm going to call it fire sound. Because let's say for pistol, we need to have pistol sound. For a sniper, we need to have a sniper sound. So now so I'm going to make it none over here and come to the rifle and onto the sound. Let's select the sound from here. So it's called AC14 fire sound for me. So I'm going to use that one for the rifle. So now let's save it. Now right click onto the weapon master, create a child blueprint class, and let's make BP pistol. Do the same thing again, and let's make it BP sniper. So now let's add the skeletal mesh inside our weapon blueprint. For the pistol, I have a skeletal mesh called RC425. And since the skeletal mesh is separated in this one, I need to add all of them. I'm going to put it onto the right socket. So the rail goes to default. Barrel goes to barrel. Iron sight goes to the default as well. And speed reloader goes to the speed reloader. There we go. So now onto our class default, let's change the value over here. So for the fire rate, I'm going to make it 1 so that it can fire every 1 second. For the fire montage, I have it already. So to make a fire montage, you can come to the animation and I'm going to use no additive. You can just right click on your animation, create, and create montage. In the meantime, do the same thing for the reload as well. I've done it already, so I'm just going to add this fire no additive montage. For the reload, I'm going to use reload montage. And for the fire sound, I should have RC425 fire sound over here. So open your reload montage and add reload sound over here. So you can simply right click on your notifies and you can simply play sound and add the reload sound over here. So once you have done that, also we need to change other value as well. Like we need to add the muzzle flash. I'm going to use the same muzzle flash as before. So I've got this muzzle flash over here. For the decal, I've got same decal as before. Same with the dust effect. I'm going to use that one. I am not going to have any camera sec for the pistol, and it won't have any recoil value as well. And for the current ammo, I'm going to have 7 onto the magazine size and 28 onto our ammo reserve. That's it. And is this automatic? No, this is not automatic, so that can be false. So now pistol is done. Let's do the same thing for the sniper. So come to the sniper, skeletal mesh. I'm going to add the skeletal mesh. So this is MR22. So now we have a sniper ready as well. So again, under the class default, we need to have this different value setup. Under the distance range, I'm going to make it 3000. Fire rate will be 1 second as well. I've got the montage already, so you can just add it. Fire montage. Muzzle flash will be the same one. This one. Decal will be the same one as well. Gun impact. Naga will be the same one too. I won't have camera sec either for the sniper. The recoil value won't be for the sniper as well. For the current ammo, I want to have 5 onto our magazine size and 15 onto the ammo reserve. And for the reload animation, I have reload, that is MR22. And for the sound, I'm going to have MR22 as well. There we go. So now we have this setup already. So we've got the pistol, we've got the sniper, and we have got the rifle as well. So we have the weapon blueprint ready to go. Now we need to set up animation for them. Also, to have different animation, we need to keep track of that. So how are we going to keep track of the weapon that we have? So for that, I'm going to make an enum called onto the blueprint tab, enum. I'm going to name it enum weapon type. And inside this one, I'm going to add 4 enumerator. The first one will be default or maybe none. Second one will be rifle. Then pistol. And then sniper. So you might ask, why this enumerator? This is only to update right animation for the right weapon. I'm going to show it how does this one works. So come to the weapon master, add another variable called weapon type. And the type will be enum weapon type that we just made. And I'm going to update it. So I'm going to update it inside every weapon that we have. This is rifle. Come to the pistol. This is pistol. Come to the sniper, and this is a sniper. So why I made this enumerator is onto our animation blueprint, we want to update the right animation for the right weapon. Right now, this is for rifle only because we only had single weapon system. So this animation is for rifle. I'm going to change it to rifle. And into our animation blueprint graph, what we can do is we can get the player character, we can get the weapon reference, that is weapon master, and I can get weapon type and make it a variable over here. So that way it gives us the actual weapon that we have in our hand. I'm doing that onto the tick, update animation. So now, since we have this weapon type enum, we have this node called blend pose weapon type. So with that enum, we can actually have different animation state for different weapon. So I can right click on this one, I can add rifle, I can add pistol, and I can add sniper. So for the rifle, we have this state machine already, so we are going to need to make another state machine as well. And also, if you drag out of this state machine, there is a node called cached pose, save cached pose. I'm going to do that just so it's more convenient. You will see what I mean by that. So this will be a rifle pose. If I have this saved case pose, I can call out multiple times like this. But if we have this state machine, we can only use it once. I hope that makes sense. So now we have this rifle. Now let's make it to pistol as well. Pistol, locomotion. And let's make it to the sniper as well. And into the rifle locomotion, we have this blend space for rifle, which means we need to make blend space for pistol and sniper as well. So I'm simply going to duplicate this, ps pistol locomotion, and once again this will be bs sniper locomotion. So now onto the pistol, we are going to use pistol, and onto the rifle, sorry, sniper, we are going to use the sniper. But the blend space is still using the rifle animation, so let's change that. Onto the pistol, we need to come to the asset browser and search for pistol animation. That is RC425, no additive in my case, and idle loop. Here we go. So I've got this idle loop animation over here. I'm going to use this one for our idle animation. Now search for walk. I've got this walk forward over here, walk backward onto 180 and minus 180, and then walk strafe over here. Now let's do the sprint one. So for the pistol, I am going to use tactical, sprint tactical. I have two animation for sprint. I like this one more. I'm just going to use this one. So let's update the animation for sniper as well. So into the sniper locomotion, all right, we have got this blend space updated as well. Now come to the anim graph again. So we need to save cached pose again. This is pistol pose. And for sniper, so by default, since we have a rifle, so I'm going to use rifle pose by in default. Onto the rifle, I'm going to use rifle again. Onto the pistol, I'm going to use pistol. And onto the sniper, I'm going to use a sniper pose. And then pass that to our slot default. So now our animation should update according to the weapon that we have. So let's close everything, instead the weapon master and the player character. So since we have the animation ready, weapon ready, now we need to make the weapon change happening. So how can we do that? So for that, let's add a variable called weapon inventory. This will be our weapon master type, and it should be the class reference. I'm going to show you why class reference and not the object reference. So let's draw object reference for now, and right click on that and make it array, because we need multiple weapons, so we need to make array out of it. So if you use the object reference and add it, you can see I can't really add the weapon over here, right? But if I use the class reference and add it over here, so compile and add it, you can see that I can actually add weapons over here. So since we start with the rifle, I'm going to add a rifle at index 0. At index 1, I'm going to use pistol. Sorry, I'm going to use pistol. And index 2, I'm going to use a sniper. Also, to keep track of this index, you might say, what is index? This is what I'm talking about. So when you drag the weapon and when you get a copy, okay, it's lagging, you see this index over here. So if I pass one index, it's going to give rifle. If I pass 0, it's going to give rifle. If I pass 1, it's going to give me pistol. If I pass 2, it's going to give me sniper. If I pass 3, it's not going to give anything because there is nothing on 3. So to keep track of the index, we can't manually put the value over here. We need to have a system to add the index or subtract the index if needed. So for that one, I'm going to update it to a variable called current weapon index. Okay, I have this variable over here, and you know what the index means now. So let's make a function called weapon change. While changing the weapon, we need to understand how are we adding weapon to our character. So if you come to our viewport, this is the weapon. We are adding it by a child actor class. As you can see, I have added BP rifle, and this is child actor class. So I simply added child actor over here, and I've added the weapon. So that means we already have a weapon in our hand. So before changing the weapon, we need to check if our weapon inventory, this index 0, this is index 0 because I have to make the default value to 0. So if the index 0 is equal to our weapon child actor class, which is equal at the moment because the child actor class is rifle and the weapon inventory index 0 is rifle as well because this is 0. So this and this are equal at the moment. So that's what we need to check. If this is equal, what we want to do, which means this code is simply saying if I already have a rifle in my hand and I'm trying to change it to other weapon, I don't want rifle again in my hand. I want pistol or I want a sniper. This is what we are checking for. So in that case, if our child actor is equal to the weapon inventory index 0, we want to add 1 to the weapon index. Why 1? I'm going to show you what I mean by that. I'm going to add 1. Instead of adding 1 like this, I can simply use a node called increment. So what this does is it add 1 every time. So it says add 1 to the specified value, then set it node. So well, since we have understood what is increment, let's get back to our weapon chains again. So what I'm trying to do here is, if our weapon inventory current index, that is 0, is equal to the child actor class, which is equal at the moment, we want to add 1 to the current weapon index. That means adding 1 onto the 0 gives me index 1. That means we are trying to get pistol now. So since we added 1, that means the index should be 1 now. So this index should be 1. So it will give us the pistol now, not the rifle, because 0 is rifle, 1 is pistol, right? So after this, I'm going to get the weapon child actor, and I'm going to set child actor class. So what is this child actor class going to be? This is going to be the weapon inventory get, but now instead of passing 0 index, we are passing 1, which means I'm passing pistol now, because inventory index 1 is pistol. We started with the rifle, we added 1, and we now pass it to pistol. For example, now let's say we have pistol. If we have pistol and we change it again, now this is 1 and it will add 1 more. That means the current index will be 2. That will give me sniper. I hope that makes sense. But if it is not equal, we can simply set our child actor class to the rifle as well. So we can simply get it over here, and we can simply pass index 0, which is our rifle. That means if we don't have the rifle, we can simply make it to rifle. We can change it to rifle. We don't need to do anything over here. So now after this, let's see if the weapon change is happening. Also, we need to run it over here as well. Weapon change. So if I scroll wheel up, that's it. We are getting pistol and we are getting sniper as well. But if I change it again, it goes, we don't have anything, because when we scroll again, forget about that error, we're going to fix that. Because when I add it again, after 2, the index becomes 3, as I said before, and we have nothing on 3. That means once the index is equal to 2, we need to set it back to 0 so that it goes back to rifle. How to do that? So get this one over here. I'm going to check if current weapon index is equal to weapon inventory length minus 1. Minus 1. You might ask, what are you doing over here? What is this weapon inventory length minus 1? So I'm trying to check if the current weapon index is already equal to the maximum value of our inventory, which is 2. And you might say, then why minus 1? Because current weapon index start with 0. As you can see, weapon index start with 0, but the length start with 1. That means this length gives me value 3 because I have 1, 2, and 3 weapon. But the index is 0, 1, and 2. Start with 0. That's what we need to do. We need to subtract 1. So now it gives me value 2, and this is the maximum index can be 2 as well. So if this is true, what I want to do is, I want to set the current index back to 0 so that it changes back to rifle. I hope that makes sense. For example, now you will understand what I mean by that. So I have current index 0, that is rifle. I have current index 1, that is pistol. I have index 2, that is sniper. Now, since we have the current index 2, and if I scroll wheel up again, it will change back to 0, that is rifle again. So it changed back to 0, which is rifle again. That's what we are trying to do over here. So now let's fix this error we're getting over here. So what does that error say? So once I change the weapon, it gives me this error saying destroyed rifle child actor and it's trying to get those value, which it will never get it, because once we set the child actor class, this child actor gets destroyed, and onto our begin play we are getting this reference. So that means it is trying to say this reference is invalid because this child weapon has been destroyed and we've got the new actor. So every time we change the weapon, what we want to do is, let's have some space over here. So every time we change the weapon, I'm going to have to cast it to weapon master again. So cast to weapon master, and I want to set this weapon master reference again, just so we have the updated weapon master variable. I can simply do this over here because it's the same thing over here as well. So now it should fix the issue. So we change the weapon, and now you can see we are playing the right animation as well. See this one? We are playing the right animation as well. And how is that? Because if you have remember, we are using this weapon type to update the animation, which means since we get the updated reference, that means the weapon type get updated as well. So when we change it to pistol, this weapon type will be pistol. And from our animation blueprint, when we have the pistol, we use the pistol animation. When we have the rifle, we use rifle animation. And this animation type, we are getting it from weapon reference over here. And it is getting updated every second as well. Sorry, every frame, because we're using tick. So that's why every frame it's checking, is the weapon being changed? And if it is being changed, it gives us the right animation from here. So now, since we are changing weapon, I can fire. I can change back to pistol. I can fire. I can reload. I can change it to sniper. I can fire. I can reload. But if you have noticed, my ammo UI is not changing at all. I still have the ammo of the rifle, as you can see. Now it's still not, it's not updating. Once I change the weapon, our UI, ammo UI is not updating at all. So let's fix that as well. How to fix it? Since we have this UI onto our player HUD, come to the player HUD, and we are changing ammo by this bind event on ammo change. So we are using event dispatcher for that. So now every time we change the ammo, we want to run this as well. So let's convert it to function bind UI on weapon change. But we need to add one more thing over here. Before binding, I'm going to unbind as well. Why? I'm going to explain. Unbind event on ammo change. So why we are doing this is create event, and I'm going to run the same function as this one. So let's say I'm at rifle right now, and I change it to pistol, which means we need to unbind the rifle UI. We need to unbind the rifle UI, and we need to bind the new pistol UI. So let's say now I'm in pistol. Now I go back to rifle. So I need to unbind the pistol UI and go back to rifle again with this bind. That means every time we change the weapon, we need to run this function as well. So every time we change the weapon, I'm gonna call this player HUD and bind UI on weapon change. I'm going to run this function as well. So let's see. I have this rifle. I can fire. I can reload. As you can see, the UI is updating properly. I can change it to pistol, and now you can see the UI is updating properly as well. I can fire. You can see the UI is working fine, and I can reload as well. And same thing with the sniper. So now, since the weapon change is working, we need to set up advanced ammo system for multiple weapon. What I mean by that, as you can see, let's say I have a rifle. I fire it. Now my ammo is 34 by 200, and I reload it. So I have 40 by 194. But if I change my weapon and come back to rifle, it resets the ammo. So there is no way that I can track the previous ammo. So for this, I'm going to have to make a separate video. So this is it for this video. If you have learned something new from this video, make sure to hit a like, subscribe my channel, and stay tuned for the next video. And also comment down below if you have any video that you want me to make. And thanks for watching.